Good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live on LFS. For this, the grand finale of Matchday 13, one of the biggest games of the season. Two sides that have somewhat shared the Premier League title for many's a year. Manchester City, 4 in a row. Liverpool were the only team to break that long spell of City winning titles back in 2019-20. This season, they want to do it again, Liverpool. They sit top and they can go 11 points clear of Manchester City if they win this afternoon. Contrastingly, City can close the gap to just 5 points if they leave Anfield with 3 points this afternoon. Something they haven't done with fans in attendance here in over 20 years. Something not too common for Manchester City. For today, the biggest games are for the biggest of players. Some changes in both teams, but some of the stars still remain. Mo Salah and Erling Haaland amongst them. This afternoon, Liverpool have a glorious opportunity that doesn't come around often, and they're hoping the fans inside this stadium that today could be the day that they start a title race and start a claim to their 20th league title. Let's have a look at the teams then. Starting with the home side, Caoimhín Kelleher still deputises for Alisson after this incredible penalty save in midweek against Real Madrid. Trent Alexander-Arnold returns for his first start since injury before the last international break. Joe Gomez starts at centre-back for the first time since March of 2023. Virgil van Dijk is his partner who captains the Liverpool side at centre-back. And Andy Robertson at left-back. In midfield, Ryan Gravenberch continues in that defensive midfield role, with Alexis McAllister keeping his place from the Real Madrid game in midweek. Curtis Jones drops to the bench. Dominik Szoboszlai comes in for him, with a front three of two changes from that front three. Luis Diaz, Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo start up front for Liverpool. On the bench, Jarosz Davies, Kwanzaa Endo, Jones, Elliott, Morton, Noni and Darwin Núñez. For Manchester City, a change in goal too. Stefan Ortega starts in goal with Edison on the bench. Kyle Walker, who captains the City side, starts at right back. Ruben Dias comes back into the side from his injury, joined alongside with Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake in defence. Rico Lewis joins Ilkay Gundogan in midfield with Phil Foden in the 10. Bernardo Silva off the right. Matheus Nunes off the left, and Erling Haaland, the Premier League's top goal scorer, leading the way for Manchester City at the front. The only City player in that starting 11 to have scored in the Premier League this season. On the bench, Edison, Carson, Vardiol, Grealish, De Bruyne, Savinho, O'Reilly, McAtee and Jeremy Doku. One of the biggest games of the season is on the way in just a moment. One of the biggest weeks in Liverpool's season so far. It's Liverpool against Manchester City at Anfield. Kick-off is on the way. Good afternoon and welcome to Anfield for this one. Liverpool against Manchester City. Manchester City, the champions for the last 4 seasons. The only side to have broken their record of incredible round of Premier League titles since Pep Guardiola's entrance into the league was in that 2019-20 season, when Liverpool had to go to 99 points to defeat Manchester City. On occasions, they've been beaten by the singular point, and that's why these games are so incredibly important to a season. As we see, Liverpool will get us underway. They'll be kicking towards the Kop end in the first half, which clearly sees that Liverpool have lost the coin toss. But they'll not worry about that, because they get us underway. Dominik Szoboszlai gets us going for this one, and what has been a monumental week for Liverpool. Coming into this one, they sit top of both tables, the Champions League and the Premier League, and Arne Slot, a record start to his career at Liverpool. in Premier League terms, no manager has more points than Arne Slot after 12 games, his first 12 games in the league. Only Gus Hiddink has the same amount. It is a record that is quite remarkable for Liverpool, who were at times a calamity last season, conceding so many goals. But something that has really been different about this Liverpool team this season is that control of football matches, when it seemed like last season it was a deer in headlights and end-to-end open games of football every single week for Liverpool. Some may forget that Liverpool were actually somewhat in a three-way title race for a lot of last season. They kind of fell away come April time, but they held themselves with Arsenal and Manchester City for the vast majority of last season. And a few defensive tweaks may just push them that little bit further this season, albeit a long, long way to go. And this, the real acid test for Liverpool this afternoon. For Manchester City, they couldn't be coming into this in worse form. 6 games without a win, 5 defeats and just the singular draw against Feyenoord in the Champions League in midweek, which they were 3-0 up in. We'll see how they deal with that today. Here's Salah, looking to lift it into the box. Just a bit too much on that one from Salah. And it goes behind for a goal kick, but a positive start so far from the home side. Started with a nice switch ball there by Szoboszlai. Out to Salah on the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold made the run forward, gave Salah the space to cut inside and try and go for the cross, which was easily seen out by the City goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. So 2 deputy goalkeepers this afternoon. Salah nicks the ball back off City there with Nunez. As Alexander-Arnold does well, of course, returning from that injury that he sustained before the last international break. Trent Alexander-Arnold is deemed fit to start this afternoon and does come in at right back. Of course, Conor Bradley under a little bit of duress, a bit of injury for him, and coming back at the right time was Alexander-Arnold. It's Bernardo Silva with a slight touch of the ball there and hooks it away, out for a Liverpool goal kick. Well, what is City's approach coming into this one? Because, as I said, 6 games without a win. Anfield, a stadium that City don't have a good record in. The only time they've won here since over 20 years ago was that game in 2021 when there was no fans inside Anfield. They won 4-1 on that occasion, but since then they haven't tasted defeat or tasted a victory here on this turf, and not many teams do get a lot of joy here at Anfield. But it's one of City's most toughest opponents and stadiums, and a ground that certainly doesn't build a good record for Pep Guardiola and his team. Although Alexander-Arnold a bit loose in his pass there. McAllister tried to win it back, but Haaland dropping deeper. Holds on to the ball, but Gundogan gives it away. Wanted the foul. Referee says no, and here's Diaz. Plays it through for Cody Gakpo. Steps onto his right. Weaving his way through. Gakpo forces a good save off Ortega. Really good play by Liverpool in midfield there. Gundogan got the ball. I think it was a flag up anyway. But interestingly, in the midfield, Gundogan kind of faces his own goal, loses the ball quite easily in midfield. Nice play to Diaz in the central areas. Feeds it through for Gakpo. Yeah, and I think Gakpo has the shot. He was onside, but it was Diaz, I think, got in the keeper's kind of eye line there as he made the save, and he was in an offside position. That's another good positive moment for Liverpool there in these early moments. There's a Kanji under pressure by Diaz. Goes down, gets the free kick, but that pressure and that press will be very intense from Liverpool today, as you can expect. Again, as I said, what will City's approach be this afternoon? You know, as I said, coming into this one, 6 games without a win, a record that is unbeknownst not only to Manchester City in recent years, but Pep Guardiola in his career has not really ever seen this before. Something of an anomaly, an unorthodox moment for them. As Gomez calmly heads it back to his keeper. And coming into this game at Anfield, it's one of those where they want to find that balance of staying strong defensively, but also having that threat on the counter, which of course they do have. Manchester City, massive attacking threat. It's good defending by Ruben Dias, although seen out by Salah. Pushed to the edge and Liverpool win the throw in. Of course, talked about the baggage that Arne Slot didn't have against Real Madrid. He has no baggage against Manchester City either. Szoboszlai into the middle. Diaz went down, but nothing in that as Stefan Ortega will just retrieve the ball. I think for Manchester City the key is just kind of ride out this early bit of a moment for Liverpool, really. As the crowd booing the City goalkeeper and jeering him. He plays it out into midfield for Bernardo Silva. Foden to Akanji. Bit short in his pass. Akanji nicked away by Gravenberch. Gravenberch across and Szoboszlai. Decent effort, but straight at Ortega. Again, a loose pass by City. Just gifted Liverpool a little break and a chance to get the ball into the box. And a chance to test the City goalkeeper. As Van Dijk stepped in. Didn't win the ball. Foden went down, but City keep the ball. So we move on and continue. Key information you need to know today about the referee. I'll tell you about that in a moment, because here's Matheus Nunes for City. Steps off the left-hand side. Well blocked by Gravenberch in the middle. Now Alexander-Arnold. Into Szoboszlai. Nice ball out to Robertson with space down that left-hand flank. Robertson looks to whip it across. Diaz in the middle. Couldn't really take it with him. Still alive is Gakpo. Edge of the box. Now to Szoboszlai. Blocked by Akanji. Still alive with Szoboszlai. Good intensity from Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold with a cross. Into the middle. All the way through. Lewis tried to stretch for it. Gets a round of applause from the Anfield crowd. Applauding their side's early efforts. Nathan Ake in a bit of pain with his left hand here at the moment. Referee's just going to come over and have a look at that. The referee is Chris Kavanagh. Our VAR is Paul Tierney this afternoon. I think Szoboszlai had the shot and it kind of hit the left hand of Nathan Ake there. He is okay. City have the throw down the right hand side. Walker goes long with it, trying to target Haaland. He got the flick acrobatically, but Gravenberch got in the way, and Joe Gomez will just saunter that back to Caoimhín Kelleher. Alexander-Arnold. Back to Gomez. Back to Kelleher. And for Liverpool, it's all about finding a fine balance as well, coming into this one. Although City not in great form and Liverpool in quite good form at the moment. In big games and huge title-deciding games against the best teams, form really goes out the window, and it isn't really a factor in these type of games. Both have great quality, both defensively and up front, and in games like this, it's about who performs better on the day. And I'm sure Liverpool will be well aware of that, as Alexander-Arnold hooks that City throw clear, and Diaz might be in there. Heavy touch. It's close. Certainly a nervy one, but Diaz with a little bit of a heavy touch allowed it to roll back to Ortega. Kanji back to Ortega again. Goes long. Nice step in from Van Dijk. Gakpo trying to take it down against Bernardo Silva as it comes back with Ruben Dias. Now Walker. Bernardo Silva tries to leave it for Lewis. Nicely intercepted by McAllister. And now Szoboszlai sees the head one. Ortega with a save. Back out with Diaz. Now through bit too much for Alexander-Arnold. Can he keep it in? He wins Liverpool a corner. Just the intensity. You see it again. City look like they've got it out down that right-hand flank. McAllister comes flying in, wins it back, gets the crowd up, gets Liverpool going in the final third. And then Alexander-Arnold, a bit of a heavy pass to him. He just rescues that for the corner and keeps Liverpool on the front foot, of which Alexis McAllister will deliver the cross. Goes short this time. Szoboszlai back to McAllister. Back to Szoboszlai again. Bodies in the middle. Szoboszlai's cross. Van Dijk hits the post. Goodness me. As close as it could be, but Liverpool, as they did against Real Madrid, knocking on that door early on here. Gomez, Robertson as Van Dijk strides back to his position, his natural position, as that ball, long ball forward, one to chase for Salah, down the right hand side, up against the Kanji, tries to sneak it in and it's followed in by Cody Gakpo at the back post. Salah tried to go himself, Gakpo with a sneak attack at the back post, and Liverpool, who have been pushing for the lead in 12 minutes, have the lead inside 12 minutes. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. And I don't think City know what has hit them quite early in this game. The intensity, the pressure, the sheer energy in Liverpool's attacks have been relentless. And they find the breakthrough so early in this game. It's a wonderful ball forward. What a fizz pass that is in behind. Salah has acres to run into. No one chasing him. No one trying to break out to him. Allows Salah to stride into the 18-yard box. Free as you like. Steps across a Kanji. Left-footed one. Tries to curl it to the far post himself. And Cody Gakpo there just to kind of just hit it in a sense. Simple as you like for Gakpo. And that, the sneak attack from the Dutchman. And Liverpool lead. And this is a great start for the home side. And exactly the opposite start that City would have wanted here at Anfield. And now, Phil Foden is down. And he's holding his right knee, which is an ominous sight for a City fan. Don't know whether it's just an impact problem or if it is just a bigger knee problem for Phil Foden at the moment, but he's in real pain on the floor here. See it again, it's Gravenberch spins away, and yeah, as he does the kind of spin, Gravenberch with the skill, it kind of, the studs come down right on the knee cap of Foden. It's inadvertent, it's accidental, but it's really a painful one for the Englishman. Look at that goal again. The ball is fabulous into the space. Salah has got so much room. And then the back post, no one alert whatsoever from a Manchester City point of view. Walker allows his man just to sneak past him. No attention, no focus, no concentration at the back post there for Manchester City. And that is as criminal as you can get at Anfield. And now Ruben Dias, and just seeing a clip of Ruben Dias and Kyle Walker chatting about that afterwards, maybe a bit frustratedly, and Salah and Gakpo now in conversation. And that's got the crowd going. And now City do have time to kind of figure things out, and a lot of talking, a lot of conversations and 2s and 3s here for City to figure out what has hit them and how they're going to stop this early in this game, because Liverpool have been relentless in these first 12 minutes. Saw Van Dijk with a chance earlier, just crashing off the right post. He might have got a little touch to it, Stefan Ortega. Don't think it would have really changed the trajectory of it, but any sort of touch is crucial for the keeper, and that went on to the post from Van Dijk's header. Foden is back to his feet, I shall tell you. He's a bit hobbly on the sidelines, but don't think it will be the end of his day. I think he will be coming back to the field in a moment or two. Look at the stats early on. 15 gone, and Liverpool have had all the shots on target. 5 shots, 3 on target. 62% possession. So many touches in City's box, but City have had absolutely none of that. Nothing so far in an attacking sense. Good challenge by Gravenberch. And Gakpo tussling with 2. And Liverpool win the throw on that left-hand side, which Rico Lewis is a bit confused by, but I think he had the last touch. As Liverpool continue to keep the ball on the move. Back with Kelleher. Into the middle. McAllister back to Kelleher. City trying to apply a bit of a press. It's Gomez. Chips it over the top of the midfield, and Szoboszlai gets a little nick to that one. Here's Phil Foden. Off to Nunez. In the way are Liverpool again to win it back. And Salanai was coming back from an offside position. So City get a free kick. Walker. Pressured by Gakpo. Well, when Liverpool have scored first this season, you can kind of get where I'm going with this. They've scored first 9 times in the Premier League this season, and they haven't dropped a single point from the winning positions this season. 9 wins from 9 when scoring first, and have conceded just 4 goals in those games when they score first. Commanding is the best word for that. That ball in behind. Salah's on the periphery. Mo Salah. Good challenge by Ake at the last ditch there. Again, it was Alexander-Arnold. Ball over the top. Salah one-on-one in behind with Nathan Ake. Acres of space again. Testing the City defender. Salah got the first touch. It maybe showed a bit too much to Ake, but Ake got the challenge and put it out for a Liverpool corner on the right-hand side. Those runs in behind are terrorising Manchester City at the minute. Liverpool are just piling them on time and time and time again. City just aren't able to deal with it at all at the minute. Corner on the right hand side for Liverpool. Alexis McAllister to deliver again. This time he will whip it in, and this time Van Dijk misses the target. He's hit the post and now he's missed the target from 2 headers. McAllister, lovely whip ball in, or whipped cross. And Van Dijk, free as you like, in the middle. No one anywhere near him. Free, jumping, well clear of all the City players, and just doesn't get it on target. Virgil van Dijk. Certainly a threat for a goal. So 2 free headers inside 18 minutes. Here's Matheus Nunes giving up the ball cheaply again, and look at this from Liverpool again. Diaz to Alexander-Arnold, and now Gakpo swipes at it and fires it over the bar. But look at this intensity. This is just incredible. Again, it's Matheus Nunes wide on that left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold isn't really doing much. He's just there. Nunes kind of, I don't even know what he does. He just gives up the ball. And as soon as Liverpool win it back, that intensity to move it in between the lines and get it into a shooting position is just incredible. Ortega under pressure there, City, but play out of that press well with Akanji. Now Walker trying to play it and keep it moving, get some sort of touches of real good note on the ball here, City. As Walker has to go back to Ortega again. So Ortega tries to spin it out to the left. Nunez tries for the flick on with Foden, but Gomez has that one under control. Plays in Alexis McAllister, who will just roll it back to his keeper in Caoimhín Kelleher. 20 minutes gone at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Cody Gakpo with a finish at the back post. Salah, a bit of a loose one. Well, mopped up by Joe Gomez, and Trent Alexander-Arnold takes no unnecessary risks and goes back to his keeper. That's another thing that has been the key point for Arne Slot and Liverpool this season. I'll tell you about that in a moment, because Gakpo's now played in. Robertson on the underlap. Robertson trying to cross it. Well blocked by Rico Lewis. Another Liverpool corner incoming. From Liverpool this season, one thing that Arne Slot has kind of tried to embody with Liverpool is just don't take unnecessary risks when you don't need to. Be patient, and I hear him talking about that a lot, is patience in games. And a lot of the things he doesn't like are when Liverpool are too impatient when they have the ball and trying to force a few things. And I think that's something that has certainly added to the defensive solidity for Liverpool, is just being patient on the ball. You've got the possession, keep it until you know you've got a good opportunity. And with the quality of these players, they're always going to create. As Alexander-Arnold ready to take this corner on the left-hand side. It will be an in-swinger. Right-footed delivery. Bit low. It's bouncing around the box here. Haaland's the one to get it clear. Alexander-Arnold, deft touch to bring it down and whips it in again. But that one, too much by Alexander-Arnold. Goal kick. Well, no win in last 6 games for Pep Guardiola, the joint longest run of his managerial career. He hadn't lost 5 games in a row as a manager until just a few weeks ago, just until last week, when they lost Manchester City. Absolutely thrashed last week by Tottenham on their home turf. Spurs obliterating City in that game. It's Alexander-Arnold under pressure at the back here with Foden. And back to Caoimhín Kelleher. That's really good defending and good goalkeeping, and ultimately by Kelleher as he tried to clear it long, but it's good pressure by City there initially. Had Alexander-Arnold in one or two minds. As we're already halfway through this first half. It's flown by so far. There's Ortega into Gundogan. Look at that. Touches in the final third. Liverpool with 45 to Man City's 5 touches in the final third. Goodness me. All those stats just reiterates the point that Liverpool have just dominated this early part of the game, as Ortega again with Gundogan. He tries to switch it. Headed back infield by Walker. Under pressure, Diaz. Well nicked by Robertson. Again, just epitomising, just wait for your moment, as City did recover it well there. With Lewis. Wrote a challenge. Infield to Walker. Now Gundogan, and out wide here to Matheus Nunes on the left. Nunes up against Alexander-Arnold, who waits for his moment and nicks the ball away from the City man and gets a free kick. Does Alexander-Arnold. Nunes went to ground, and he's going to get a yellow card as well. Is Matheus Nunes down that side? Really smart play from Trent Alexander-Arnold there. Made the challenge well in his own box, and then just strides away with the ball. Knew the challenge was coming and waited for it. And that gets Matheus Nunes a yellow card, his first of the season. Of course, Alexander-Arnold out with an injury as of recently. Trent Alexander-Arnold's last Premier League appearance was at the start of November in the home win against Aston Villa. Well, that's the game in which he got injured. Liverpool won 2-0 that night. Conor Bradley's been deputising ever since, and Bradley's got injured, and Alexander-Arnold is back just in time. Gomez a bit loose there with his pass to Gravenberch. Nice interception by Gundogan. Kanji to Gundogan. A little bit of a decent moment or two from City here. Okay, Gundogan to Foden. Back to Bernardo Silva. Cross to Walker. Tries to turn away from Cody Gakpo and has to turn back to Ruben Dias. And now back to Ortega. As Liverpool apply that press on the City defence again. Diaz trying to press Diaz. Diaz to Diaz. Diaz back to Ortega. He kicks it long and gets City out of trouble. Momentarily is Ryan Gravenberch there, giving away the free kick to Phil Foden. That might be a battle that could continue throughout the game. I think Foden was asking for a yellow card for that challenge, but yeah, I don't think there was much. It's a foul, but he's not denying a good goal-scoring attack. Or good counter-attack there is Gravenberch, so I don't think a yellow card would be fair. And there is no yellow card for Gravenberch, just a foul. It's a nice ball by Matheus Nunes into Foden. Strides away from Szoboszlai. Foden in the box. Cuts it back. Gakpo there in the cover. But there's nowhere to go. As City win it back again. Bernardo Silva. This is better from Manchester City. Nunes now. Ake back to Matheus Nunes. Again to Ake as Liverpool have bodies back in space. Covering those gaps. Foden. Nunes rolls it in behind. Akanji made the run. The cross comes in. Van Dijk there ahead of Haaland, and Kelleher is the second one to touch the ball and gather it comfortably for Liverpool. That's going to be another crucial moment today. Van Dijk winning headers up the pitch. Be crucial to win those headers against Erling Haaland in his own box, and he did there, did the Liverpool captain. Kelleher tries to dart it out to Salah. Good step in by Gomez, and nice interchange between the Liverpool midfield here with Szoboszlai. Nice Salah. City called him for offside there, but Salah still goes. Salah looking to switch it again to Gakpo. Headed back across goal, but Stefan Ortega can comfortably gather there for Manchester City. Well, it's not common recently that there's any consistency in who wins or what result comes out of these games in the last few seasons. Two of the last three Anfield games between these two in the Premier League have ended in draws. Liverpool won the other of the last three. A 1-1 draw, a 1-0 win for Liverpool against City. Mo Salah scored that goal. And then the 2-2 draw back in October 21. As I said, the last time City won here was in early of 2021 when they won 4-1 here, albeit behind closed doors at that time during COVID. Liverpool won the previous game here in the season they won the league in 2019-20 season when they won 3-1 here, Liverpool. And that really kind of crowned their season. Excuse me. That was so early in the campaign. It was early in November that time when Liverpool faced City that time round, and at that point that put them quite a few points clear at that occasion of City and just bolstered them for the season. If Liverpool are to win here this afternoon, they would actually be on the same number of points they were when they beat City here in that league title winning season. Liverpool would go on to 34 points if they were to win here, and that was the points tally they were on after that 3-1 win against City back in November 2019. There's Gakpo there on the spin of Walker. Walker, I think, got the touch there. He did, and Gakpo wins the throw-in for Liverpool, which he takes quickly and finds Alexis McAllister. Now Van Dijk. McAllister again, turning away from his man in Bernardo Silva. And down the left flank it comes with Robertson, who lost his balance for a second there, but did well for the moment to keep it going. Gravenberch stepping in midfield, wins it back. Diaz now to Szoboszlai, flicks it across for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Shot charged down by Akanji, and a throw in goes Liverpool's way. I think Salah was a bit frustrated there that Alexander-Arnold wanted to shoot. Salah thought there was a ball in for him. A Throw in comes Liverpool's way. 30 gone. 1-0 to Liverpool. Liverpool, after that little 5-minute spell for City where they were just getting a bit more of the ball, Liverpool maybe just calming back into this one again. Gomez. Out to Ryan Gravenberch. Now to Joe Gomez again. Looking to switch it. Lovely switch ball by Gomez. Gakpo takes it down beautifully against Walker. Gakpo again. Across to Diaz. Diaz will switch it. Out to Alexander-Arnold. Back to Gravenberch. Now Gomez. Van Dijk. It's good football from Liverpool. In possession, they're not rushing things, they're not forcing issues. Just keeping to what they're comfortable with, but also spreading that nice switch ball to kind of relieve a bit of pressure. Kind of keep City moving defensively anyway. Shuffling across. So Bushly there. Getting it back to Gomez. Gravenberch on the half turn. Pulled back there by Foden. And that's going to be a free kick. And that's going to be another yellow card. This time for Phil Foden. That's the eternal move of Ryan Gravenberch since he was in that role. That wonderful spin on the half turn. And Phil Foden just grappling at him to try and hold him back. And that's a pretty simple and obvious yellow card for Phil Foden. And a free kick to Liverpool. Van Dijk. Back to Kelleher. And Gomez looks for that long arrowed ball again. Out to Salah this time. Up against Ake, who won the challenge. And it goes out for a Liverpool corner. Against those runs in behind. Still causing City problems. Liverpool every now and again just pump the ball up the field for Salah to chase, or for Gakpo to chase, one of their forwards to chase, and City just seem to be struggling to deal with that ball in behind at the moment. Ake did well there again and Salah, but put it out for the corner. That'll be the fourth corner of the half for Liverpool, and the third for Alexis McAllister to take on this right hand side. Van Dijk has been threatening from previous corners and set pieces. See what McAllister can deliver here. Right footed. Into the box it comes. Van Dijk was the closest again, but it falls to Alexander-Arnold. Just wide. Seen it as the ball came bouncing out of the box from City. Alexander-Arnold on the edge. Took the touch, and the strike is just ever so close. Just curls away from goal at the last second in the way that it was shot, and so close for Trent Alexander-Arnold there. Certainly seems to be keen on shooting today, Trent Alexander-Arnold. City try that ball in behind again, and Gomez gets fouled there by Matheus Nunes. And Liverpool not waiting around. Alexander-Arnold plays it into Gravenberch. Right to Salah. Into Szoboszlai. Back to Gomez. And now Van Dijk. And a skill. Almost caught out his own midfield there. Nice work from Szoboszlai and McAllister. Out it comes to Gakpo. Flicks it through for Szoboszlai. Back to Robertson. Wide on that left. Nice run by Gakpo into the box it comes. Walker trying to step across. Oh, it's still alive. City dealing with it there. As Bernardo Silva clears, it might have crossed the byline. The referee and the officials say no as Liverpool keep moving. I think there might have been a handball straight in there. I don't think there's anything in that. As Liverpool play on. Poor pass by McAllister though. Gives the ball back to City. And now here's Gundogan. Good challenge. Initially thought it was a good challenge by Gravenberch, but it's a foul on Ilkay Gundogan and a yellow card for Ryan Gravenberch. He kind of shoulder barges Ilkay Gundogan to the ground there. The Dutchman. And he gets his 3rd yellow card of the season, does Gravenberch. See what distance we've got on this one, about 30 yards or so, maybe more. One for City to try an eye up. Less than 10 minutes to go with the first half. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Liverpool have continued to threaten City, but second goal still not found. That would be about 36 yards out. It's quite a distance, this. They're just going to roll it forward and keep the ball moving. Our City just pass it around rather than try and whip it into the box, but that's a bit dangerous, that, as Bernardo Silva looks for the one over the top, and Caoimhín Kelleher could easily gather. I mean, that's a botched free kick if I've ever seen one. They try and play it around, and then they have to turn back on themselves, and then Bernardo Silva tries to go for the long ball in behind, and by that point either his team are running back towards their own goal or offside, so easy gather for Kelleher. Kelleher goes for the pass out, try and find Diaz out in that right hand side. Ake does well to step in. Núñez blocked off by Alexander-Arnold. Now Szoboszlai on the break. Look at this crossfield ball, just a bit too short for Gakpo, and Walker got his foot in the way. Could only clear it out for a Liverpool throw. Liverpool are actually trying things now. They're trying for the audacious ones. They're trying for the less orthodox, comfortable passes. That's how comfortable Liverpool seem to feel in this game at the moment. They don't feel nervous at making those passes. Van Dijk spreads it wide for Salah. Not quite the diagonal. Salah whips one in behind, and Diaz goes down, but it's good defending by City. I think it was Walker that was involved there. Again, Salah tried the audacious one on the outside of the left boot. See him try it often enough, but try it in a game of this magnitude is you have to be at some level of confidence to do something like that. It's Gundogan tries to feed one in behind for Haaland, as Alexander-Arnold is there to mop it up. The ball forward to Salah, couldn't keep it, felt he was fouled. The referee said no, as City come away with it with Bernardo Silva. Now Núñez into Akanji, out to Matheus Núñez. Bernardo Silva. Nice feinted ball into Gundogan's path, who finds Haaland. Now Rico Lewis. Eyes up for an effort. Wide of the goal. Really tame in the end. It wasn't a thumping effort. It was quite a soft effort, really. It's a bit open from Liverpool in terms of their point of view. They're maybe a yard off each of those City players there. It was a good combination by City, but from Liverpool's point of view, a bit too easy. And Lewis tried to go, I don't know what he was trying to shoot with. It just didn't come off, and that's for City's first actual recorded shot of the game so far, as Salah tugged at again, wanted a foul again, but the referee saying once again, shaking his head, saying there's no foul. Here's Lewis again, breaking into the space. Haaland showed a bit too much to Gomez, but Liverpool couldn't keep the ball. Walker out to the right hand side for Gundogan. Walker trying to go on the overlap and trying to go for the 1-2 there, but Bernardo Silva's ball is easily recovered by the Liverpool defence and goes rolling out for a Liverpool goal kick. Right, so about 5 minutes ago in the first half here at Anfield, let's see what's coming up. Midweek action from the Emirates for you. Wednesday night, where we have Arsenal against Manchester United. Another absolute blockbuster. Wednesday night, 8:15 on LFS for you. And both of these two teams will be in action on Wednesday night as well for you. So That's Wednesday, 8:15, Arsenal against Manchester United. Both with big wins this weekend, with a lot of confidence going into that one. Arsenal 5-2 over West Ham and United 4-0 over Everton earlier this afternoon. Of course, Arsenal closed the gap at the top to just 6 points ahead of this one this afternoon. So Arsenal still very much in the conversation. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Alexander-Arnold, back to Gomez. Comfortable movement from Liverpool again. Van Dijk to McAllister. Back again to Van Dijk, now Kelleher. Alexander-Arnold into the middle. Diaz on the turn. Lovely spin by Luis Diaz. Taking up a much more central role today is Luis Diaz. That ball forced forward by McAllister to Robertson. A bit too much pace on that one. As Ortega goes long again, and Haaland and Van Dijk in a tussle in the middle, and McAllister goes down under a challenge from Gundogan, and Liverpool get a free kick. Yeah. Just seeing the challenge again. It is a foul. Gomez. Van Dijk back to Robertson. Kelleher. Gomez. Alexander-Arnold into Szoboszlai, who will chip it over the top. One for Salah to chase again, but Ortega has come a long distance and make sure that one goes out for a Liverpool throw. Of course, probably an interesting development with Stefan Ortega starting this afternoon rather than Edison, of course, that we usually see in the goal for Manchester City. It is Ortega's first game since Tottenham in the Cup back on the 30th of October. It's his first Premier League game in a long time, in a good while, if I can tell you. It's his first Premier League game since the last game of last season, which he played in a 3-1 win against West Ham at home. So quite a distance since Stefan Ortega played in a big game of this magnitude, because that last game at home was, of course, the game which City won the title against West Ham. That Phil Foden masterclass that day, as Alexander-Arnold through to Salah, not on the same page there. Salah wanted to come out wide and Alexander-Arnold wanted to go in field. As Alexander-Arnold there stepping up and trying to win it back, as Salah stepped on his left foot. He is incessant, is Mo Salah, as he has to fix his boot at the moment. He's not been happy. A few times he said he's been fouled. The referee and the officials haven't seen it, but Salah getting himself frustrated on that side. Here's Lewis for City, trying to feed one through this. A nice ball out to Nunez on the left hand side, last minute of the first half, first 45 anyway. Here's Ake breaking forward. Lewis around the corner for Foden. Now Bernardo Silva out wide to Walker. As Liverpool get bodies back and in the way. All the way back it goes to Ruben Dias. Kyle Walker. Foden. Walker. Back to Gundogan. So it comes down the right hand side again here. Gundogan. Foden. Walker. Again, not looking. It's Bernardo Silva now into a bit of space, trying to find something. Switches it out to the left for Matheus Nunes. Nunes with a cross, handed away by Gravenberch, and Gakpo trying to make a nuisance of himself on the edge. Diaz getting involved. Gakpo tries to rescue it. Absolutely cleaned out was Gakpo as Diaz tries to spin it in behind, but Ake got the measure of that one and dealt with the situation. 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Diaz comes crashing through and wins the ball. And now Salah running in behind. Salah down the right hand side. Into the box he comes. Tries to cross it. Blocked by Ake. Liverpool corner. Again, the contrast between both teams and how they attack. I mean, City have the ball. Liverpool just get all the bodies back in good positions. I think Kanji's been given a yellow card here for absolute cleaning out Cody Gakpo here. Yeah, he's very late there. Ismail Akanji. And there's no doubt about that. That's a yellow card. There's quite a few City players on a yellow. That's his third of the season for Akanji. That's the third City player to be booked in this first half. But the difference in how both sides attack. Liverpool, it looks so easy for them in the moment to get forward. City, it just looks like a real slog. As McAllister goes short from the corner. Out to Szoboszlai. To the edge of the box, and Alexander-Arnold. Again, he's certainly eyeing up a shot today, Trent Alexander-Arnold. That one, again, probably should have decided against that one. Fired over the bar. Goal kick. Well, just looking at the longest winless runs as manager for Pep Guardiola. Did have a 6-game winless run at City back in 2016, but hasn't had anything of the sort since then. That was the only time he went 6 games without a win as a manager. Did Pep Guardiola, which, by the way, is quite remarkable, to be fair. Sides have records for most wins on the bounce and all that type of stuff, and most games unbeaten. So you have to take the rough with the smooth at times, to be honest. And I think Pep Guardiola's been very honest with that, to be honest. You know, you expect excuses, expect kind of you kind of expect all that kind of grovelling to be happening. But Pep Guardiola's been very honest, very straightforward in his interviews and in chats with journalists in the week and in these last few weeks about, well, he's just not been good enough. He's been very honest, and I think that's been really refreshing to hear, rather than the old usual media spiel. As the 3 minutes of the added time have come to a close, and that is the end of the first half at Anfield. A first half where undoubtedly Liverpool have been on top, in control, and bombarding City at times. But City will hold on to the hope that it is only 1-0 at the break. Cody Gakpo with that sneak attack finish at the back post from Mo Salah's cross has Liverpool ahead. There could have been more, Van Dijk missing a header and hitting the post, and a few others to boot. But half time, there's no doubt which way this game should be going and is going at the moment. It's Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. back to Premier League Live. Half-time at Anfield, it is Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Cody Gakpo with a goal after just 12 minutes has given Liverpool the 1-goal advantage at the break, and what would, as it stands, carry them 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table and 11 points clear of the champions Manchester City, who at the moment, I would have to say, are quite lucky to be still only 1-0 down in this game. So far, it has been a quite remarkable first half from Liverpool and quite a strange first half for Manchester City in this one. And really, we just have to kind of try and compartmentalise it really at half time. You know, in every single area of the field, Liverpool have been in control and better than Manchester City, no doubt. You know, in midfield, that really quick football, but also composure. Fantastic passing in between the lines between McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai for Liverpool. Compare that to City's midfield. Gundogan, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis at times as well. They just can't really get the ball moving quick enough to try and threaten Liverpool or to try and move in behind or get any sort of a threat towards Liverpool's goal at the moment. I think the real lethargic nature of City's play, and sometimes, you know, we talk about it in City, control the ball and move the ball and keep it moving and try and grind you down as the games go on. We've seen less of that recently, but even when they do that now, it seems like teams are just comfortable in keeping them in there and not being afraid of what's to come. I think from the wide areas, they've been very poor, have Manchester City. I think there's been no real threat from wide areas. I mean, Matheus Nunes has probably been the most threatening player, and he's a yellow card and really struggling to get anywhere near the game. So that's probably the best they've offered from wide areas. I think Liverpool have looked well controlled, well composed in those areas, and City just have looked lacklustre in all areas of the pitch. Attacking wise, I think Liverpool's attack has been very, very good. I think Salah, Gakpo and Diaz making those runs in behind, keeping the City defence facing their own goal, and at times, even unforced, City are just passing back to the goalkeeper, which you don't always see at Manchester City do. And even if they do it, it's to Edison, who's a great kind of sprayer of the ball. He's a great passer of the ball, and I don't know if Ortega kind of possesses those type of qualities. From that first half, it didn't look like it. But at times, I think Liverpool frightened City in that first half in the way that they didn't try and take on a player, didn't try and push forward, and didn't try and kind of commit themselves into challenges or commit themselves into attacking areas. They kind of retreated back to their own kind of comfort of the back four and the goalkeeper more often than not. And I think that's what's kind of stifled City massively in that first half. And to be fair, can you blame City for being that kind of cautious? Because Liverpool came out with a fire lit under them in the first 15 minutes because they were relentless. I think Liverpool weren't going to give up until they got that opening goal in that first half, or that first 15 minutes, because they kept coming back at City. They were throwing themselves into challenges, winning balls back, moving the ball with incredible pace and power and quality. And it just didn't allow City any sort of time at all to recover or to kind of get back into shape. And I think that was crucial from Liverpool. And the question really stands at times is, you know, Arne Slot's way of playing, that kind of possessive, kind of calmness, control, patience type of football, quite different to Jurgen Klopp. All the way Liverpool set up and the way they attack is quite similar, but in the way that they kind of possess the game and try and control the game is very different to the way that they would have under Jurgen Klopp, because Jurgen Klopp said the best way to defend is to attack. And I think that was Jurgen Klopp's kind of mantra of that heavy metal, end-to-end open game of football where both teams were firing at each other and the game was just electric for 90 minutes. Arne Slot doesn't want that. And I think sometimes people say, well, that can be a massive negative because how's Anfield going to be that factor? Because Anfield thrives off that type of energy from their team consistently. That's what made Anfield such a fortress under Jurgen Klopp. But to contrast that, you know, it takes time, but Liverpool, when they get going, their attack is still that pacey, kind of powerful, really eccentric way of moving the ball. And inadvertently it will get the fans up, so it won't be a massive net negative. And I think we've seen that throughout the half. They haven't needed the crowd. I think Liverpool, of course, the crowd is there and it's made its noise when it's needed to. But I don't think on massive occasions in that first half Liverpool really needed the Anfield crowd. And that was kind of the question being asked of Liverpool this season. There has been that real fine balance between possession, power, control, and patience, but also that real electric, eccentric, kind of end-to-end nature about Liverpool, that bursting of pace in the final third. And I think that's the fine balance they're finding this season, which is getting them that extra little bit from their team, and that is what has them ahead at half-time in this one. For Manchester City, they're still very much in the game, no question. 1-0 down, anything can still happen. But on the balance of things, you look at the stats, you look at the performance in that first half, and you look at City and you go, where are you going to find a goal other than a set piece? Really, do you see Manchester City carving Liverpool open? From that first half performance, I would say no. Now, of course, that can change. Pep Guardiola can tweak things at half time and things can change. But the way they set up in that first half, it looked quite similar to the way they played against Spurs. And they didn't score against Spurs. They didn't look really much of a threat on any occasion. And the one real chance they had, the only shot they had in that first half, Manchester City, was Rico Lewis. And it was a real tame, wasted effort in a sense. Nowhere near threatening the Liverpool goal at all. And that's something City need to desperately work on. They need to be quicker on the ball. They need to move it faster. They need to be... There needs to be a lot more movement. Very static football at times for City. They're all just standing, waiting on something to happen. And I don't know where they're expecting it to come from, because no one's moving. No one's kind of trying to drag Liverpool players out of position or create spaces in behind or take a man one-on-one. There's just that real stifled, just that statue-like attacking, which, as you can probably gather, doesn't work. And it doesn't seem to be working for Manchester City at half-time. Let's just run you through the stats then, give you a full kind of complex and compact understanding of that first half. Possession-wise, it's actually not too much of a difference. Liverpool have had 54% possession to City's 46%, so still quite even on that front, because City have had their spells of possession, but without real attacking threat. XG, listen to this, 1.53 for Liverpool in terms of their XG. City 0.07 in their XG. Liverpool have had 2 big chances, City without a big chance. Liverpool with 10 shots, 4 on target. City with 1 shot, no shots on target in that first half. Liverpool 5 corners, City no corners in that first half. Liverpool with more passes and more accurate passes. In that first half, they've had 17 touches in the opponent's box, Liverpool, to City's 5 touches, so commanding that area as well in that one. In terms of the final third, possession-wise, they're quite even on that front with their possession stats in the final third. Liverpool with more long ball efforts, but working them better, and that's probably come from them playing the balls in behind. It's not long ball giving it back to City. Liverpool, we've seen in that first half, try and employ... just bypass the midfield and send your attackers, pacey attackers, in behind. City haven't been able to deal with that either in the first half, where they've played in a ball over the top for Salah or a ball over the top for Gakpo or someone to chase, to run into space. And City have just looked second best in that as well. A few last-ditch challenges from Nathan Ake denying Mo Salah in that first half. A couple of clean runs in on goal, but other than that, it's been quite a dominant display from Liverpool in that first half. And I think the next thing that they need to do, from a Liverpool point of view, is find that second goal. Start to take the game away from Liverpool, or away from Manchester City, and just get that second goal, give themselves a bit of breathing room, a bit of space, a bit of an extra kind of cushion in the game, and just settle it in the second half. But at no point do I really feel like Liverpool are going to be out of control or kind of end-to-end and open. They look really composed, and I think that's been crucial to how they've played in that first half and why they're 1-0 up at half-time. But we will see, of course. There's certainly players on the bench for Manchester City that can make changes if they need it, and I'm sure Pep Guardiola would not be too far away from trying to do that, although he doesn't like to make changes. We will see what happens. The second half at Anfield in this huge grand finale of Matchday 13, and a big game in terms of the title race this season between Liverpool and Manchester City. The second half's on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Second half at Anfield is on the way in just a moment. But don't forget, as I said, midweek action in the Premier League this midweek. And on Wednesday night, we will have a big game for you at the Emirates. Arsenal, who thrashed West Ham 5-2 last night. They take on a Manchester United side under Ruben Amorim, who got his first Premier League win as Man United manager this afternoon in a 4-0 victory over Everton at Old Trafford. That's Wednesday night, 8:15 on LFS. Right. The second half is on the way in just a second. There's a few players warming up for City at half-time, so maybe some half-time changes or maybe some getting ready for the second half shortly after the restart. Just showing the stats here. And really, to combine that first half with what's been going on for City in the last few weeks, it's not something too dissimilar at the moment. And that little moment where Rico Lewis did have the shot, it's been the only positive for City in that first half. And I would say it's because they moved it intricately in between the gaps. Rarely there's been gaps in Liverpool defensively in the first half, but when there was, they find that little gap, City, and maybe that's where they can try and exploit them in the second half and try and get something. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. And we thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening for this one, a truly kind of spellbinding moment. It's a fabulous spectacle here at Anfield this afternoon. Under the lights and that winter air, it has just got that feel of one of the games of the season. And Liverpool will be attacking the Anfield Road end in the second half. It will be Man City that will attack the Kop in the second half, as we get back underway at Anfield. Another 45 minutes to go with the game, albeit stats-wise one-way traffic, but scoreline-wise still fairly in the balance as we get the second half underway. And a second half where City maybe will just have to up their tempo to begin with. Let's see how they start. Walker plays it into Haaland. He has to come all the way back to Ruben Dias, but getting one or two touches there, Erling Haaland. Couldn't say too much about that from the first half. 11 touches in the first half did Erling Haaland, which is quite a lot considering how little City got the ball forward. They've held the ball for the whole of the second half so far. This early few moments, or this early few seconds anyway. That's Gravenberch there to intercept, first time for Liverpool. Salah, Szoboszlai on the turn, and McAllister just plays it back to Virgil van Dijk, his captain. As Liverpool just took to keep the ball, get the ball moving, to to get the energy up for the start of the second half. Of course, they were 1-0 up against Real Madrid in midweek. Actually conceded a give away a penalty when they were 1-0 up, and also had a penalty at 1 up. And after both of those moments, they were still 1-0 up, Liverpool, before the second goal came to wrap up the game late against Real Madrid. So, darning one of their fatal foes were Liverpool in midweek, and they're hoping to do the same against one of their domestic fatal foes this afternoon. Ake to Ruben Dias, who will be a big boost for Manchester City, albeit that first half, but he is going to be a boost for that leadership role, as Kyle Walker is miles offside there. He tried to go for the run. You could see it from a mile off that Kyle Walker was nowhere near onside there, and that's a quick decision, easily given. There's options off the bench. De Bruyne is warming up on the sidelines here for City, so you never know. Might be involved fairly shortly. Kevin De Bruyne. Good header by Walker. Lewis beaten to it by Robertson as Van Dijk puts it out of play for a City throw. I think it's crucial that City get a positive start to this second half and really kind of remind Liverpool of the quality that they're up against. But I'm sure Liverpool will be well prepared and well aware of the City that they are up against this afternoon, albeit the form that they're in, but they still possess that incredible amount of quality that has won them 4 Premier League titles in a row. As Van Dijk clears it away, tested down by Walker. Lewis in seemingly a tough spot, and I think he's just going to get the free kick here from a foul by McAllister. That's also what City need to do, is just kind of break up the game a bit more and just have a bit more of the ball themselves. Just get comfortable with it, moving the ball around Anfield. As Ake gives the ball away cheaply there, but Alexander-Arnold gives it straight back. Lewis. Now Kanji. Again, Liverpool have bodies back. Out wide to Nunez. Into Bernardo Silva. Out wide again to Matheus Nunes. Liverpool get all their bodies in the way. All but 1 or 2 of them. Anyway. Now Ake. Bernardo Silva. Squeezes it through to Akanji. Now Nunes. And a run for Foden to make. And try to go for the cutback. Well blocked by McAllister. And City get their first corner of the game. Much more positive for Manchester City. Phil Foden, who won the corner, I think is going over to take it. It's actually Gundogan that's going to take. Been in swinger on this left-hand side. Whipped in, headed on, and easily gathered in the end by Quevin Kelleher from Manuel Akanji. It's Kelleher sets Robertson off on this charge here. Robertson in behind Cody Gakpo with a lovely run. Cody Gakpo! Good challenge by Nunes. And Ortega was involved as well. Beautifully paid pass by Robertson. Wonderfully timed run by Gakpo. Good recovery by City in the end. Robertson. Gakpo points to the space. Robertson puts it right to him. And Gakpo tries to reach for it. Tries to adjust onto his right boot to try and finish. And well, blocked behind by Matheus Nunes. Liverpool with a corner. Another good opportunity. It's how quickly it can go from one end to the other. And Arne Slot giving Andy Robertson a bit of information there on the sidelines, while Alexander-Arnold gets ready to take this corner. They're in swinger incoming. Alexander-Arnold as Van Dijk steps across, and another one that came close by Van Dijk. This time just over the bar. I think the Liverpool captain is desperate to score as well today. That's his 3rd header of the day. One hit the post, one missed the target, and one over the bar. If he keeps getting those chances, one is bound to find the back of the net. With Virgil van Dijk's type of quality from those areas. And not yet, not so far. Diaz. Back to Ortega. Again to Diaz as Robertson in midfield at the minute. It's Bernardo Silva now into Akanji, who tries to dart Walker down the right hand side, and Van Dijk comes across and blocks off. Now Robertson gets back into position and has to lift it up the field for Liverpool as Ake gets it forward to Gundogan. Now Nunez up against Alexander-Arnold. Tries to step across, does so as Alexander-Arnold chases, but Gundogan now feeds it in behind for Ake, and up in the air by Gravenberch, and behind for a City corner. It's been a very good start to the second half. I'd say very positive for Manchester City. Despite that little moment for Gakpo in behind, they've had a good spell so far. Another corner, left-footed, or left-hand side, sorry, right-footed by Gundogan, away by Van Dijk. A bouncing ball. Walker heads it back to Nunez as Szoboszlai tried to intercept, but Foden got the better of him. Right, it comes with those two again, but Gundogan feeds it in behind. Foden trying to chase, but that will roll out of play. Goal kick to Liverpool. Close enough there. But again, Liverpool calm and composed in their defending. And that's got the Anfield crowd up again, singing along. It seems hard to believe, but between 2014 and 2018, Liverpool actually went 5 games with 5 wins at home against Manchester City. 3-2, 2-1, 3-0, 1-0 and 4-3 in a spell between 2014 and 2018. It seems incredibly hard to believe considering the closeness of these two over the last number of years, but that was when Guardiola was building his City side and when Liverpool were building under Jurgen Klopp. At the very start and a few times before that as well, before both managers, those little spells. Something I read and I was like, that seems so strange, so kind of like another world in a sense. Just coming up to 10 minutes gone in the second half, and City have had 23 passes in the final third to Liverpool's 1 so far, so City certainly moving the ball better. Here's Lewis. Walker on the overlap. Into the box comes Bernardo Silva. Hit the post and goes behind. Goal kick. Certainly moving it better, City. Something for Liverpool to kind of be quizzical about and try and figure out now. Good movement by City this time. Not often we've seen in this, we haven't really seen it at all in this game, where Walker's come wide and played the ball into the box, and Bernardo Silva making the run in this time. It's as Manchester City as you can get, in a sense, with those types of movements, but it has certainly not deterred the Anfield crowd. They're still singing and cheering along with their team at this moment in time. Mo Salah nicks it away at the back. Szoboszlai's through. Mo Salah! Oh, he's missed it! Goodness me. Huge opportunity. Missed by Salah. Diaz, Akanji gives it away. Salah one-on-one with the keeper. Don't think he can pass it to Szoboszlai, really. He would never, probably would have anyway. Mo Salah, you would trust him from there, and just tries to lift it, and over the bar it goes. We kept that down. That would have been 2-0. And you can see it on Salah's face. You can see it on the Liverpool fans' faces. A bit of disbelief there, really. Let's not stop the crowd inside Anfield singing along with their team. And almost given away again by City. Diaz this time was close. Just about keep it. And I think there's a offside here against one of the City players. There is. So Liverpool are going to get the free kick, and there's going to be a double change for Manchester City in this moment. So Matheus Nunes is going to leave the field. He's going to be replaced by Jeremy Doku. So a change on the left flank for City. Doku on for Nunes. And İlkay Gündoğan is coming off as well. And coming on for him is going to be Savinho. So I said they lacked pace in the wide areas, City. These are their two pacey players in Doku and Savinho with width. Gomez. Goes back to Kelleher. Chips it up the field. Looking for Gakpo again, a runner in behind. Up against Walker, but Gakpo couldn't keep it in play. And City will win the throw. Here is Bernardo Silva. Cross to Nathan Ake. Here is Doku. Gets past Alexander-Arnold. Striving into midfield is Doku. Across now to Walker. Now to Savinho. Drags his fullback with him, but Savinho goes back to Ruben Dias. Now Bernardo Silva. Into Walker. Savinho. Looks to go over the top now. Savinho trying to find Haaland, but Van Dijk had that one covered, and McAllister now loops it forward. Dias wins the header. And the bouncing ball finds its way to Jeremy Doku, but he can't keep it in play. Bit of a heavy touch there by Doku. He felt he was fouled in the process, but officials saw nothing, and Liverpool get the ball. Low Szoboszlai there, a bit loose. Gives it back to Doku. Now Alexander-Arnold needs a bit of help there, and a foul coming. Doku winning the free kick, which they take quickly. It's much more of an incentive about City now when they move the ball. Doku, Lewis, now Phil Foden trying to eke the space. Gravenberch tried to beat him to it, but he escapes the challenge. Doku across. Gakpo feeds it back into Haaland. Blocked away. Better from City. Here's Foden. Now Doku again. Steps across again. Blocked by Gomez. Still alive in the box as Gravenberch does well to just take it away. Nice Salah to Szoboszlai. The referee maybe getting in the way there. Szoboszlai keeps it alive. And Gravenberch now tries to send Gakpo on the chase, but Diaz did well to deal with that. And Salah will let it run for a Liverpool throw. Certainly a much more even affair now, you'd have to say, in play. So they've just kind of come to life a little bit. And maybe Liverpool just having a bit more to deal with at the moment. As we come up to the hour mark here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, City 0. Liverpool's goal came after 12 minutes. Long time since then. Here's Lewis. Good challenge by McAllister now. Diaz to break forward, but there's no one ahead of him. No one willing to go with him. Diaz, surrounded by City players, can't find a way through, but does win Liverpool the throw in. Luis Diaz off Kyle Walker. Not seen much of his one-on-one play so far, Luis Diaz. Certainly not off that left-hand side. He's been very central so far as the Colombian. Gomez. Alexander-Arnold. Gomez. Back to Van Dijk. Across to Robertson. Now out to Luis Diaz on this left side. Into the middle for McAllister, who leaves it beautifully for Gravenberch, who's got the space forward. Now to Szoboszlai. Feeds it to Salah. Salah on the edge of the right side of the box. Back to Szoboszlai into the middle. Away by Diaz. Still alive. Szoboszlai couldn't get to the header. He does the second time, and Alexander-Arnold with a cross. Away again by Ruben Diaz. A Bushlight trying to keep it alive and just headed it out behind for a goal kick. Be interesting to see players on the Liverpool bench who will be making way shortly. Liverpool without changes yet. City have made 2 of those as Haaland was trying to get through, but Van Dijk had the cover fantastically well. As Gomez tries to go over the top himself, but that ball too much by Joe Gomez to find Salah. See it here. Kanji with the ball, and Haaland tries to make the run in behind. And Van Dijk spotted that danger from a mile off and had the audacity to can't pass it behind Erling Haaland, which is quite incredible. I have to say, City couldn't have been any worse than they were in that first half, and they've massively improved from first half to second half. Moving the ball with a lot more intention, a lot more zip, a lot more vision on what the outcome is they want it to be. But again, that loose pass given away that time though. Salah charging forward. Mo Salah still going. And the shot, this time again off target, but for a much more tighter angle and a much tighter space for Salah. Again, it's City muddle themselves up in the middle. I said they were moving it better. They get a bit muddled. Salah comes across on the right hand side. He gets to the edge of the box and tries to swipe it with his left foot, trying to find it past Ortega, and I think might have just curled away at the last second and ultimately comes to nothing. Ake, Doku into Nathan Ake, goes forward again, tries to find Haaland, but just a bit too much on that one to find Erling Haaland, and Queeving Kelleher will recover. That's another thing we didn't see in that first half, them trying those passes to Haaland, and certainly didn't do it anywhere near as often as they are doing it now. City, it's Liverpool, give the ball away from the goal kick. Or from the kick by the goalkeeper, I should say. Salah trying to win it back off Doku. Doku does really well. Steps across Alexander-Arnold, but Gravenberch there in cover. Wins it back. Pass away by Alexander-Arnold, and McAllister couldn't keep it. Now Doku. And Alexander-Arnold gets a foot in and puts it out for the City throw. Liverpool just not as dominant in those 50-50s, those one-on-one battles as they were in the first half, and that's another big improvement for City. It's winning those tussles against their man and their one-on-one battles much more efficiently now in the second half, which is giving them that extra little edge, that extra bit of room to move and to keep the ball moving and keep themselves on the front foot at the moment. With around 25 minutes to go. Still Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Diaz to Walker, central, back to Ruben Diaz, out wide it goes to Savinho. Gakpo there in retreat and recovery, and McAllister there getting the challenge in on Savinho, forces it forward again. Lovely nick by Gakpo though. Here's Szoboszlai into Diaz, tried to turn away Diaz but uses Gakpo for leverage, who skips away from his challenge. Now Alexander-Arnold in behind for Salah. Mo Salah rolls it back. Alexander-Arnold cleared and saved. Diaz still alive. Luis Diaz, the flag I think has gone up. It has. After all that, it was Diaz. Played it with into Gakpo. Skips away from the challenger Lewis. Salah just offside, he is. Frustratingly so for a Liverpool point of view, but just those little margins. It's crazy. second goal really would be a massive sigh of relief for Liverpool if they can get it. For City, the longer it's 1-0, the more belief and the more confidence and the more kind of positivity comes out of this for them. Liverpool at the moment, I wouldn't quite say holding on to that lead, but I would say they're in the middle of it. As Alexander-Arnold tries to go in behind again. Ortega was alert and quick. Diaz made the run in behind that time, and Ortega put it out for the throw, and I think there's a bit of movement on the Liverpool bench. So we'll see what it's going to be for Liverpool in the next 20 minutes of this game to go. The next few minutes we'll see some changes, I would be guessing. Van Dijk into McAllister. Back to Gomez. Feeds it nicely into the path of Luis Diaz, who felt he was pulled down, but the referee again says no. And City win the ball back fairly. Savinho back to Ruben Diaz. Now to Savinho. Quarter of the game to go. Liverpool 1, City 0. City moving the ball better, getting up the field better. Still that goal evades them. As Alexander-Arnold tried to block off Doku, got the first good challenge, but Doku was persistent. Alexander-Arnold persistent, but Doku spins away. Doku into the box. And Dijk steps across and clears it away for Liverpool. Ake, as Alexander-Arnold fizzes that one forward. So Szoboszlai nicks it. Now Gravenberch to Salah. Into Szoboszlai, sorry. Now he finds Cody Gakpo. Luis Diaz in the middle. Gakpo steps across himself. Cody Gakpo straight at Ortega with a shot. There's moments there. There's options for Cody Gakpo. He had, I think, Andy Robertson on the overlap there on the left-hand side of him. Diaz was in the middle. Salah was arriving. There were options. Gakpo went himself. I mean, to be fair, he might have been a fair option, but the shot pretty tame and easy in the end for the Manchester City goalkeeper. It's actually Liverpool's first shot on target of the second half. For you. It's the only shot of on target of the second half so far. It's Foden. Lays it off to Savinho. Robertson tries to get it away from him. Savinho gets the cross, but Van Dijk there to win the header, and Robertson there to clear. Diaz trying to add a bit of hold up, but again the referee sees no foul in it as Ruben Diaz wins it back. Now Kanji. Out wide it goes to Doku. Up against Alexander-Arnold again. Doku at the byline. Alexander-Arnold tries to stay with him. Cuts it back to Gundogan. Or not to Gundogan. Bernardo Silva, sorry. Ake now. Doku. Chipped away from him by Alexander-Arnold. And try to find Salah. Does find Salah, but his ball to Diaz is just a bit wayward. And City keep the pressure on. 20 to go. Doku, who's been electric since coming on so far, lighting up that left-hand side that has really been quite vacant so far. And there's Savinho on the opposite side, also trying to light up the opposite wing. Got a few in front of him. Savinho looking for his opportunity, waiting for that moment to eke a little bit of a yard. Got the cross in, but cleared away by Gomez this time. And that was good pressure by Szoboszlai, who forces Ruben Diaz back to Stefan Ortega. And the XG is quite considerably different, but at the moment the scoreline is all that matters really in this game. Here's Doku, blocked off by Gravenberch again. Liverpool with 2.46 XG. City with 0.23. Still struggling to find that clear-cut opportunity, are Manchester City. But they've been much more threatening in the second half. Bernardo Silva. Out wide it goes to Doku. Doku to Foden. Nice flick to Rico Lewis. Again, can't find a way through. So Boschlei under a challenge. And the free kick will go Liverpool's way. And a foul given away by Bernardo Silva. And Liverpool making double changes. Cody Gakpo is going to leave the field. And Darwin Nunez is going to come on for him. So I'd say Diaz would go to the left-hand side and Nunez would go through the middle. And also Jarell Quansah is coming on as well for Liverpool. As Cody Gakpo leaves the field, and he's the man at the moment that would have that goal that would get Liverpool 3 points at the moment. And he will leave the field, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be the other man coming off. Only back from injury, and Arne Slot doesn't want to over push his player, so I think Joe Gomez will slot out at right back and Jarell Quansah will just drop in at centre back for Liverpool. So a few slight switches, both up front and at the back for Liverpool. A free kick here for Liverpool then. Caoimhín Kelleher will take it for Liverpool, the goalkeeper. As the ball goes over the top from Kelleher, and that puts the pressure on Ake with a Salah arriving, and that gets Liverpool the throw down the right hand side. Go through, goes all the way back to Quansah. There's actually Gomez still in the middle. Quansah's not slotted in there yet, just yet, as Van Dijk wants to go on a run here. Virgil van Dijk, and tries to feed in. Nunez in behind. Nunez steps across, tries to play it back across. Well blocked by City. McAllister keeps the attack moving. Diaz down the left hand side, chops onto his right, crosses into the middle, away by Ruben Dias, and City hook it clear as Joe Gomez just mops up. Now Quansah, back to Gomez, now back to Kelleher. McAllister to Gomez. Gomez at centre back still, and Quansah's gone out to right back, and look at him here. Here's Jarell Quansah up against Ake, and Jarell Quansah wins Liverpool a throw. Must be intentional, this. Jarell Quansah to be playing out at right back. And Joe Gomez staying at centre back, where I would have thought it would be the opposite way about. Gomez has played right back on multiple occasions before for Liverpool. He's played all across the back four for Liverpool on multiple occasions as Joe Gomez. The versatile defender he is. Not seen much of, or any of really, Jarell Quansah in that area of the field. Very interesting. 15 minutes to go. I keep telling you the countdown clock. I'm sure you can count it yourself, but creates atmosphere. Kelleher, ball in behind. There's Ruben Dias battling with Nunez, and Diaz nicks it away, and Luis Diaz goes down. Penalty to Liverpool. City could not deal with the situation at all. Luis Diaz, intent on winning the ball, strides away, skips away from Stefan Ortega, who takes him out, and Chris Kavanagh, the referee, points straight to the spot. Really good work from Nunez, gets it going, gets the energy going there. Diaz steals it away from Walker, and then Ortega's come flying out of his goal. Diaz there, he tries to close it down and smother it. Diaz flicks it away, and he tries to jump over him, just gets caught by Stefan Ortega. And that's a penalty to Liverpool. This is a huge moment at Anfield. Liverpool's last two games, they've had penalties. Mo Salah scored one at Southampton to win the game. Missed against Real Madrid in midweek. What will he do here? City trying to delay it as much as possible. Salah's doing keepy-ups in the box. Talk about calmness and composure. And at the Anfield Road end, Mo Salah, 82% success rate from the spots. What can he do here? He's missed a few times this afternoon for Liverpool from big moments. What can he do from 12 yards? As the City fans behind that goal try and put Mo Salah off. His laser focus. Mo Salah steps up and scores! Confident, cool, calm Mo Salah. You would think that penalty miss on Wednesday night would put him off, would make him think twice about where he's going to put the ball. But the best, forget about those moments and worry about putting the ball into the back of the net at the next possible occasion. And Mo Salah, the eternal goal scorer here at Anfield, could be carrying Liverpool once again to another huge victory. Salah goes to the bottom right corner, or take a dive the right way. He did all he could, but the precision of the finish from Mo Salah was too much to keep it out of the back of the net. And it is now Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. And a bit of relief inside Anfield. I said that second goal would just calm nerves, would settle the team, would settle the crowd a bit more. And this second half, Liverpool have been kind of in the balance with City at many times, having to do the work out of possession. But when they get their chance, they have duly taken it. And Mo Salah, with his, if I'm not mistaken, if I can get the stats up for you, Mo Salah with his now 11th Premier League goal of the season, giving Liverpool a 2-goal cushion. Premier League goal of the season, not goal of the season. Premier League goal of the season. Nunez trying to slide in there. City haven't given up yet, but that ball is too much for Jeremy Doku to control. And here, with just over 10 minutes to go, it's now a bit of humble nature for City now. It looks to be that it will be 7 games without a win for the first time in Pep Guardiola's career. It looks to be that Liverpool will get victory for once again the 11th time this season in the Premier League. It looks to be that Manchester City and their really terrible recent form is going nowhere. And this Anfield crowd knows it. These Liverpool players will know it. These type of games, those experienced players have witnessed them, have lived them, have seen them before, time in, time out, know what to expect, know what they need from those games and what they have to deliver. And so far this afternoon, it seems like Liverpool have done everything so professionally in every situation, whether it be attacking relentlessly or whether it be just reserving themselves to make sure that they don't give away that 1-goal lead that they had. But you have to say, this is a bigger mark on Manchester City. Because this is a proper crisis now if they lose this one from here. And this will be 6 defeats in 7 in all competitions. And more crucially, more importantly, more kind of prominently, it will be their 4th Premier League defeat in a row. 2-1 to Bournemouth, 2-1 to Brighton, 4-0 to Tottenham, And it seems 2-0 to Liverpool. That is a crisis. That is an issue that Pep Guardiola needs to try and fix, and fast, if City are going to keep themselves in trying to go for 5 in a row. Some will say it's beyond them. Smarter ones amongst us would never write off Manchester City, even in this form. But you have to say, even if they were to get back into this title race, it would be some of the most remarkable of comebacks and battlebacks we've ever seen. Look at Luis Diaz, off the periphery of Walker, takes the ball down past Kyle Walker. 8 minutes to go. Liverpool with a 2-goal cushion at Anfield. Let's talk about them. We talk about, Van Dijk giving it away. De Bruyne straight at Kelleher. Goodness me. Virgil van Dijk there, calm as you like. Far too calm, really. Kind of stumbled himself up. De Bruyne right in on Kelleher, and he just tries to strike it right through Kelleher, and Queeving Kelleher makes a crucial stop. That's huge. And that is one thing Liverpool can't be, is complacent. Queeving Kelleher. What a job he is doing in that Liverpool goal. What a goalkeeper. Deputising for Alisson, but what a job he's doing while Alisson isn't here. As Mo Salah, who at the moment would be the man of the moment, as always, an assist and a goal here against Manchester City again. And that is what looks to be carrying Liverpool to another 3 points. Cool, calm, collected. Mo Salah personified. And Salah leaves the field with his 11th Premier League goal of the season, and replaced by Curtis Jones, who started against Real Madrid in midweek. Certainly asking his manager questions on his position and his role in this team, whether he should be in midfield more often than not. Curtis Jones, his performances have certainly shown to that this season. Here's Doku. Back to Ake. Doku again. Kwanzaa gets beaten past by Doku, but Kwanzaa gets back in, and the ball's kept in by Szoboszlai, who will hook it long. The bouncing, bobbling ball. Walker deals with it comfortably, not fully clear of Luis Diaz yet, but Luis Diaz decides to put a little bit of a shove on Kyle Walker there. A bit unnecessary. And a free kick goes Manchester City's way. 5 minutes plus the additional time at Anfield. Let's talk about Liverpool. I was going to say it before Van Dijk almost messed it all up, but you know, one of the biggest arguments that rival fans or pundits or whoever have thrown at Liverpool this season is, who have they played? They haven't played any of the big sides. They haven't come up against the top teams. Well, this week is proof that Liverpool can do it against the top teams in the world and in Europe and in the Premier League. The reigning champions come to Anfield, yes, in not great form. But as I said, these types of games don't run on form. How you perform on the day is what matters in these games, and Liverpool have been deservedly the better team on the day, and the scoreline reflecting it. The same against Real Madrid in midweek. Liverpool, the better team, deserved the 3 points, deserved the win. And that incredibly tough spell that we talked about before the October international break for Liverpool, and how would they measure up against these tougher opponents? Well, they've measured up and they've come out unscathed, basically, from these last. That first game after that international break, of that tough run against Chelsea at home, a tight fought game they won. went to Leipzig and won. Went to the Emirates, got a draw. Went to Brighton and won in the Cup. Brought Brighton back to Anfield and won in the league. Thrashed Leverkusen, one of the best sides in Europe last season. Beaten 4-0. Villa. Beaten. And of course, Southampton, then Real Madrid. And it seems to be now Manchester City. Here's Dominic Szoboszlai in the box here for Liverpool. Maybe not giving up yet. And scoring. Kwanzaa. Wide on the right. Doku tries to get the better of him. But Jarell Kwanzaa wins the throw-in. And Pep Guardiola smiles on the sideline. I don't know whether it's a sarcastic smile. I think he's... I don't know what he's done. A 6? He's going to show a 6 sign to the fans at Anfield here. No idea what it's about, but seems it's good that he can make see fun out of it. As Gravenberch tried to reach for something there, couldn't do it as City clear their lines, but that's just put back to Caoimhín Kelleher. What impact will this have Premier League wide? Will teams start to really set up differently against Liverpool? What will they do? Who is going to stop Liverpool? Only one team has beaten them this season. That was Nottingham Forest here at Anfield. They've gone unbeaten in all competitions since that game on the 14th of September. 2.5 months since Liverpool were last beaten in any game, in any competition. Is this Liverpool team the real deal? Surely these performances are making you start to think, yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they are. Walker couldn't keep it in, did keep it in play. It looked like it just gone across the sideline there, but the referee and the officials said it stayed in as Gomez spreads it wide here for Kwanzaa to chase. Kwanzaa, cushioned pass into the path of Szoboszlai. Can't find a shooting opportunity as it was well marshalled there by Akanji. I think Liverpool are too intent on forcing a third. It's Curtis Jones, lovely flick round the corner for Szoboszlai. He just squares it across here to Robertson. I think they're just toying with Manchester City now, Liverpool. Diaz flicks it into the path of Jones, and then more calls for offside, but the flag stays down as Diaz was caught out by his own man and passing it there, and Bernardo Silva tries to add himself into the skills book, but he's given it away at the back here. Curtis Jones! Saved by Ortega. Corner to Liverpool. I mean, Walker loses his balance completely, plays it into a strange area, and Curtis Jones there to intercept and almost gets a good opportunity. A good save off Ortega. 90 minutes up, 4 added on, and there's going to be a change here for Liverpool late. Another welcome return from injury. Luis Diaz is going to leave the field, and Harvey Elliott is going to be returning. He was named on the bench for the Real Madrid game, didn't make an appearance, and that will be his first Premier League appearance since the 25th of August when he played against Brentford here in a 2-0 win for Liverpool. Has been on the bench a few times since that point, but hasn't featured since that Brentford game. Szoboszlai with a corner, delivered in, headed away by one of the City defenders is McAllister. Now to Gravenberch. Wide for Jones, under pressure, but will get the free kick there. Curtis Jones as he was fouled, so free kick to Liverpool on the right hand side, and it's Bernardo Silva this time that's committed the foul. Well, what's next then for these two then coming up? Of course, there's Premier League games in midweek. Liverpool have a trip to St James's Park on Wednesday nights. As I wait here, Liverpool are coming forward again. Robertson! Shot blocked. Elliott keeps it alive. Szoboszlai, as I said, Liverpool head to St James's Park to face Newcastle on Wednesday night. Then after that they have the derby at Goodison Park on Saturday at 12:30. As Nunez went in behind, flag up offside. For Manchester City, they host Nottingham Forest. Again, not an easy game, but a game they probably feel they could be end their winless drought with in midweek. But Forest, a very competitive team, and will not give City an easy run of it in midweek. That's on Wednesday night at the Etihad before City head to Crystal Palace to face, or to head to Selhurst Park to face Crystal Palace, 3 o'clock next Saturday. So that's what's to come for both teams in the coming days, weeks, as Virgil van Dijk ensures that his team are keeping that clean sheet today and stepping across against Bernardo Silva. I think it will be a corner to Manchester City. It will be just over a minute to go. De Bruyne to take this corner. Goes short to Grealish. Now Doku. Good challenge by Nunez. Another corner. And Nunez screams to the cop in passionate response to that challenge. Another short corner by City. Now Silva. De Bruyne with a cross. Again headed away by Liverpool. 45 seconds to go. Look at Nunez here. Darwin Nunez making the challenge in his own box and comes blasting forward to try and challenge Walker over the ball in the halfway line. Incredible intensity. As Walker looks to switch it right to Doku. Robertson out there at right back for the moment, along with Harvey Elliott. And Curtis Jones joining in too, making sure that that clean sheet is what's going to come here, Liverpool, as they now try and clear it up the field. Seconds to go. That whistle will hear eruption at Anfield. There it is. Liverpool have beaten Manchester City. 11 wins in 13 Premier League games this season. Who is going to stop Liverpool? At the moment, it seems like they cannot be stopped. Whatever and whoever they throw, and whoever their opponents are. This was the week that was pinned in the diary, in the calendar, for the week that would really be the tester for Liverpool against Real Madrid, the reigning European champions, and Manchester City, the Premier League champions. Well, at close of play in this week, it is Liverpool that have come out on top on both occasions. 2-0 against Madrid, 2-0 against Manchester City, and the most crucial of all, Liverpool sit 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Manchester City down into 5th on 23 points and 11 points adrift of top of the league. If they're going to come back to make it 5 in a row, it's going to be some challenge. But surely now, in many people's minds, Liverpool are on course for what is going to be and could be quite an incredible season, and on only a first chance under Arne Slot. Final score at Anfield: Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. Wow, what a Premier League weekend, and what a way to conclude it. Matchday 13 comes to a close with Liverpool seeing victory over Manchester City. 7 games without a win for City, 6 defeats, 1 draw. Where do they go from here? Liverpool soaring higher and higher as the days go on. Who knows where they will end up at the end of this season. That is the scores. Brighton drew 1-1 with Southampton on Friday night. Brentford thrashed Leicester 4-1 at the G-Tech. It was 1-1 between Palace and Newcastle after Palace's late equaliser. Forest beat Ipswich by a 1-0. Wolves thrashed at home by Bournemouth. A first time in Premier League history we've seen a hat-trick of penalties scored by the same player. In the same game, Justin Kluivert securing that for Bournemouth. Arsenal 5-2 winners in East London to take back second place in the table for the weekend. Chelsea 3-0 victors at home against Villa earlier this afternoon. They jump up to third. Manchester United 4-0 against Everton. Ruben Amorim, first Premier League win at home for him as Man United manager. And Tottenham and Fulham shared the spoils in North London. And Liverpool beating Manchester City by 2-0 to go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Well, that's it for this weekend. We're back in midweek. Wednesday night, Arsenal take on Manchester United. Wednesday at 8:15. Arsenal and United both getting big wins this weekend. A lot of confidence going into that one at the Emirates on Wednesday nights. That's it for the Premier League Live this Sunday afternoon. And this weekend, Liverpool 9 points clear. City head back to Manchester with their head, well, hanging by their feet at this point. 7 games without a win. A real torrid record. Liverpool, an incredible record. 11 wins from 13. 9 points clear. Night night.